Hi, and welcome to Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour on Paris Underground Radio. I'm your host, Carolyn Connor. Today, I have my friend Corryn Freeman on, and I'm so excited to have Corryn on. We've been friends for a really long time, and Corryn is a wonderful mother of three now and incredible activist, and you're always doing different things. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me on. It's my pleasure to be here. So, my name is Corryn Freeman. I am, how would I describe myself? I am a mother of three. Xander is 5, Zora is 4, and Nora is 3. Two of my beautiful children have autism. One of them is non-speaking. I am married, so being a wife is like a thing, to a musician who tours, and he's actually just now about to start going on tour again today. He leaves today for the first time in over a year and a half to start
That's
touring.
exciting.
It is, it is.
We're gonna have to put some links to Black Violin in the show notes for sure.
I think they're dope, but I'm a little bit biased. Let's see. Oh, and then professionally, I am currently the state director of an organization called Florida for All. I'm actually transitioning out of that role. I've decided that I want to be able to focus my time and energy on some of my other endeavors, things that I love to do. I love to bead. I make jewelry, earrings, necklaces, bracelets. Black Violin has a foundation of which I'm the vice president, where we help young aspiring musicians fund their musical endeavors so that they can go and become the classical musicians that they want to be. And then I also would love to do project based political work. So that's me in a nutshell. It's a lot. I'm all over the place. I'm a little hurricane, or a big hurricane. I'm 5'9". But that's me.
You're amazing. I mean, you've worked on some. I mean, I remember we worked on a presidential campaign for. I forget which country it was.
In Trinidad.
In
It
Trinidad.
wasn't, it was the prime minister's race. So I was a consultant on an international campaign at the national level. We tried to get the first Indian woman prime minister of Trinidad reelected. We failed, but it was fun. I had a great time.
Hey, you're always working on really important stuff, and I think that is really, really cool. So we have a pretty interesting story of how we met, and it was more than 10 years ago now. No,
About 10.
about 10, about 10 years, I think 9 years ago. No, 2013.
Yeah, it's 2021. So 8.
So 8 years ago.
Math is not my forte.
Do you want to tell the listeners how we met or your version of it? I'm sure we'll fill it in, but it's a crazy story.
Well, the way I remember it is through Cara Feldkamp, right? Cara,
Yep.
who I worked on on the Obama campaign in Colorado. That's how I met her. She actually came to visit me while I was in Egypt. I had to flee Egypt. Well, start there. There was the second revolution, the Arab Spring. The second one happened while I was there. I was studying Arabic, and with my student loan, they were going to send us back to America. We got a free flight anywhere around the world, and I was like, well, why not go to France? And I told Cara I did not know anybody, and she's like, oh, I have a friend there, someone that I know. You can meet up with her. Her name is Caroline. And I said, okay, well, introduce me to her. And so she like introduced us. And then I ended up staying with you for like a week, was it?
Yeah, it was a while. So, I mean, I just remember, Kara was a friend of my sister Dana's from college, and then she was in Paris, and we were both in Paris in the summer of 2013, and that was just that was really fun. But we were friends, but she had already left at that point. So I think you reached out to her like, hey, can I come see you in Paris? She's like, well, I'm already gone, and then but this was also like, I mean, what I remember is this was like down to the wire. You were like, I have to leave Egypt on a plane from the embassy is making us leave.
Yes,
it's not safe for us anymore. We have
Mhm.
to go. I mean, you had like something like 48 hours. I mean, it was not a long time to basically find a place in Paris to rest your head. And I was like, well, you can stay with me. And then you stayed with me for like, it's like a week. I think it might have been a little more
This
than
was
that.
wild. Some stranger, you did not know me. You did not know me at all. And we had a blast. I had a blast.
I know. That's like That's very me. Anyone, if you're listening, you can come stay with me.
Like,
It's
and it was a beautiful apartment. I remember that. Like the apartment itself was beautiful. It was in such a beautiful part of town. Where was it?
That was my dad. My dad was renting that place. He rented that place for years. He recently gave it up, which really annoying for me. It was on the Ile Saint Louis in Paris. It was on the little island in the center, the one that's famous for its ice cream. Yeah, it was. That was interesting. That was right before I left France and moved back to America. So I spent 1 year floating around France, and I had that summer in Paris, and then I went back to America for 4 years, and then I came back.
Lovely. I'm glad you were there. And she cooks for you guys.
That's true.
She cooks for you. She made like the most delicious, like she had friends over for this lovely, beautiful dinner that she had put together. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is fancy.
And that
And I love
kitchen
it.
had no oven. That kitchen had no oven. It had like a toaster oven and a teeny tiny fridge and 3 burners, electric burners. So I think I did pretty well,
You did great.
all things
10 out
considered.
of 10, 5 stars. Highly recommend.
That was funny. Yeah, I just remember like my friends like, "Hey, my friend's gonna be in Paris. She's fleeing Egypt." I was like, okay.
Literally.
That's crazy. I mean, it's amazing. Like that must have just been such an interesting time to be there. I've
Yeah.
never been to Egypt still. Actually, Dana and I were supposed to go in April 2020 for a wedding. We were going to get the real hookup. We were going to an Egyptian wedding. We were going to have a Nile cruise. We were going to be there for like 3 weeks.
Egyptian weddings are the best, like, because they're multiple days and they're gigantic. But the Rona happened.
Yeah, it did. It did. And I know it's been a wild ride for everyone. And it's not over, so
And,
wear a mask,
I
people.
live in Florida, y'all, so it's
Yikes.
really
Yeah.
not over here.
That's scary. Are you like just kind of, I don't know, what are you doing with that?
Well, so we decided a part of the reason why I'm leaving my job is that we decided that we didn't feel comfortable sending my son to school. He would start kindergarten this year. So we're looking for a homeschool option because I ain't trying to homeschool, but if I have to, I will.
Mhm.
So we pulled my 2 girls out of daycare and we're just keeping them at home because this Delta variant isn't a joke. And we have people who aren't yet vaccinated that we still need to protect, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, it's
crazy.
it's interesting. We'll see. But hey, this is supposed to be happy hour. It's not an hour. I mean, I'm going to be realistic. We tend to average around 20 minutes, which I think is the perfect length for a podcast. But we are here to hear your funny or stupid story. I do enjoy ridiculous, stupid, silly story, and then I will pair a wine with it. And I know you're a wine lover, so I'm excited for that.
In part because of you. You've taught me some things about
Oh,
wine. So
good.
I'm excited to hear how you pair my stupid story. I'm so chock full of them. I'm trying to find the right one. Should I tell a childhood dumb story or an adulthood dumb story or funny story? Like, oh, okay. I don't know that this is funny, but it was definitely dumb. So when I was like, I don't remember how old I was. I was like 14 or 15 years old. I was like entering my rebellious teenage years. And so I had met this boy. I was also boy crazy in high school. I was one of those girls who was like, boys, you know?
I hear you. I'm still like that.
I'm married now, so I think it's just like I give it all to one boy, but like I to this day I probably would be the same if I wasn't married.
It's not as cute anymore.
Right. It's not no. I doubt it. I think it's fun. I have friends who are boy crazy and I encourage them. I'm like, go after it,
It is
sis.
not fun.
I give terrible
It's
advice.
terrible.
I give
I
terrible
hate
advice.
it. I'm done. I want to find one. I just want one. That's all I need. If you're listening and you want to marry me, drop me an email.
We're putting it out there. The email is on the way. Okay, so I was boy crazy and there was this guy. We're not going to say his name because who knows who listens to this, right? We'll call him Devin. So there's this guy, Devin. He was a senior in high school and I was a freshman, which is actually kind of creepy when you
Mm-hmm.
think about it. But
14, 15.
yeah,
Yeah.
14 with 17-year-old, just a little bit creepy.
But if
Anywho,
you had big boobs, then it doesn't matter, right? I mean,
I didn't. Like, I
you
still don't
did
have
it?
big boobs. I'm rocking a C cup now. I had like maybe a B cup, maybe in high school. They were tiny.
Yeah, I was a C by the time I was 13. I think that influenced
Whoa.
things.
Yeah, I never was a booby girl. I was jealous. I still am jealous. So I had met this guy named Devin, and he was into me, and I was so excited that he was into me that like we would like text. Well, we wouldn't text message. We would like write notes. That was like still
AIM?
AIM. We would use that AIM.
Fuck yeah.
Remember ASL?
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
ASL. Yeah.
All those things that you used to say. Anyway, we would use AIM. We would write notes to each other, and we had concocted this plan for me to sneak out of my house to go and hang out with him, right? It was a terrible idea, such a terrible idea. Like, I had never snuck out before. I wouldn't quite call myself a rule follower. I was always curious and an envelope pusher, but I knew my boundaries, really. I really just like wouldn't go too far, but like sneaking out was like too far.
I mean, that's yeah, a very serious offense.
Is it? I think it's a serious
Yeah.
offense.
Oh, I mean, I'd be pissed if my kids snuck out. I don't have kids, but
Right.
you
I
know,
hope I hope my kids aren't like me. I really hope they're not like me.
they will be.
I pray to God that they're not like me. I Jesus, please have grace because I can't deal with what I put my parents through. So I decided I was going to meet up with Devin one evening at like 10 o'clock. So he pulled up. I lived at like the bottom of this cul-de-sac. So he pulled up at like the top around the back. We have a basement that has like a sliding door that you can like walk out of. It's beautiful, nice deck. So because we would sleep in the basement, it was like a Friday night on the weekends, and my little sister was there. She was like 12 then, and she was like, "Corinne, no, don't do it. You're gonna get in trouble."
Don't do it. You're gonna get in trouble.
The crazy thing is, like, now this sister of mine is wild. Like, she left her teaching job to become a rapper, and she's really great at it. She goes by Who Camille. Check out at Who Camille on Instagram, SoundCloud. Her stuff is great.
Yeah, we'll put the links in the show notes.
Yeah, please, because she's dope. But she's
Awesome.
wild now. I think some of my wild side rubbed off on her. Now she's overtaken me. She's like, "Don't go. You're gonna get in trouble." She like dropped down on her knees and like started to pray. My dad's a pastor. We're like, we're pastors' kids. So like we were like doing all of that stuff, right? And I was like, "Girl, bye. I'm going out." So I put my little shell toe Adidas on and I scurried my little stuff out at the house, right? And so I got in his car and we went to his place. We didn't, I was a virgin and I maintained my
That's good.
virginity.
That's good.
But we like went over to his place and we made out, like we made it,
Canoodled.
you know.
Hey, we call it hanky panky.
So we go, we make out little hanky panky, whatever, have our fun. And then he brings me home and no, so it was after 10 o'clock. It was probably like midnight because it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. When I tell you, I unlocked the door. I had left the door unlocked so I could get in, and I had left the blinds closed. I pull open the door, and I remember like sticking my arm in to like try to slide in. And then I feel myself getting pulled into the house. And who is it but my dad? My
Of
dad
course
is
it is.
He's never in the basement at 5 a.m. He's My dad sometimes is awake, but like he doesn't ever come down there. Like he does not come down there unless there's a need for him to come down there. But that day, he just felt it in his soul.
He knew.
I don't know what it was, but he did. He was down there.
Are you sure it wasn't your sister? Are you sure she didn't rat you out?
Camille's a real one. She would never. She will try to get you to not. At this point, I don't know if she'll try to get you to not, but she would never. Like she almost took a whooping from me. Like I got stories with her. She's a ride or die. You need you one. But my dad like pulls me in the house, and he like then is like, "Corinne," like he's like shocked on his face because he thought I was like someone trying to break into the house.
An intruder.
Yeah, he thought I was an intruder. He's like, "Corinne, I could have shot you. Like I could have killed you, like, because we got guns, say you gotta, it's America, I don't know if your listeners are French.
It's America. Where did you grow up? What state did you grow up in?
I'm from Maryland, but my dad's from like the sticks in Ohio, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's him. That's not me. But anywho, so my dad's from the sticks in Ohio. He thought I was an intruder coming in to like steal their stuff. I don't know how. I was like 14. It's like a little girl arm, you know what I'm saying? But I guess like anyone coming in when you don't expect them to come into your house.
Anyone opening that sliding door at 5 in the morning is bad news.
Right. It's all bad news. So I got pulled in the house. I got the living daylights shook out of me. My dad has never been like violent towards me, but that was like the most violent I had ever experienced him. And I think it was because
He was probably
he was
scared.
scared. And so like he was like, I can't believe you would do this. And then he took me upstairs and like screamed at me, and then my mom, and then she cried and they screamed at me. And I literally like, I don't know how funny this is. It's just dumb. And then I was punished for literally a month. That time frame, we had like the day before or the week before, not too long before, we had gone to this charity event. There was a silent auction, and there were these like VIP Beyonce tickets, box seats that we had just got, right? Like we had won them.
No.
And my punishment was that I could not go to that Beyonce concert. And my all of the women in my family are obsessed with Beyonce because she's Beyonce. And so like my punishment was like I was grounded for God knows how long, and I was not able to go to that Beyonce concert. They really left me at home
I mean, that is a steep price to pay.
for going outside. Like what?
I mean, you were canoodling with an older boy after sneaking out. So let's give credit where credit's due. But that is a steep price to
That's
pay.
my story. So that's that one.
And now a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour. I do think that's great. I think that's funny, and it does actually it reminds me of a story of mine that is embarrassing and stupid as well about missing a concert. It's not at all the same, but I had backstage passes to see Weezer, who was my favorite band when I was the same age, 14.
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited, and I'm like getting ready. I remember I had these blue fake nails, and all of a sudden I hear my mom upstairs screaming. So I run upstairs. I remember tripping on the stairs, snapping my fingernail to get up there. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And it was 9/11 and like Twin Towers, and I grew up in California. I have no idea what that
Mm-hmm.
meant, right? I'm 14, just like I had no idea. And apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently the first thing I said was, does this mean the Weezer concert's canceled? It was. So fuck the terrorists who ruined my
Boo,
Weezer concert.
terrorism. Like I hate 9/11 for a
Really,
different
really.
reason.
Yeah. I feel like yeah, that is pretty much my privilege in a nutshell as a 14-year-old in California being more worried about the Weezer concert than
I was 12 at when 9/11 happened, and I totally just like didn't get it. So like I saw what happened, and I was like, but this happens in movies all the time. Like things like this, like seriously, it didn't connect that it was real and that real people
yeah.
died. It took years for me to be able to be like, yo, that was insane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's funny. That's one of those things that like we were at this really interesting age when that happened where we totally remember every moment, right? I mean, we were like, or remember specific things. Like, I remember my blue fingernail snapping. I remember going to school and like not everyone went to school. And like, cause we were on West Coast time. So it had already happened when we woke up. And then one thing I remember that was really awesome and is an uplifting moment is, my history teacher, my history class that year, my freshman year of high school, was world religions. And that day, my teacher, Mr. Brown, was like, we're going to skip ahead and do Islam because y'all about to hear a lot of bullshit propaganda and I want you to be informed.
Good.
So I carry that with me today. He really was a good dude. And I appreciate that I got the chance to make my own decisions and learn about the beauties of the world
Yes.
instead of judging everyone for the actions of few.
Amen. Because America's good for that. America will propagandize you to
Yeah.
make you think the world is crazy. And the world is like, no, it's y'all.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I love some stuff about America, like Annie's mac and cheese.
Yeah. Yes, my kids love that.
And
They eat it at least four
it's
times a
great.
week.
It's the greatest. And and other things too, but yeah, there's some stuff.
There are
It's
a couple of
interesting.
good
I mean,
things. Mac and cheese.
yeah. You need to have a family trip back to France because I
I'm with
think
it.
you would really enjoy Lyon. It's the
If they'll let me
greatest.
back, if they'll let Floridians come.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not yet. Might have to wait a minute. Ooh, okay. So I need to pair a wine with sneaking out of the house, canoodling,
Canoodling.
and getting really shamed and punished.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Okay.
Same.
So that's a hard one because there's so many different things going on. I feel like,
There's a lot of notes. There's sweetness and then there's also bitterness there.
yeah, I feel like this is something like a fortified sweet wine, maybe like a dessert. No, like what about sherry? I love sherry. Sherry now.
I'm not a
Sherry's an
fan.
acquired taste. Well, it's weird. It's an acquired taste, but it's also really, really strong, so it'll totally like ruin you. So I think a nice manzanilla sherry. So that is from southern Spain. It's dry, and it is, if you're not into it, it smells like the weirdest thing that you should never put in your mouth. It's like raw almonds and nail polish.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's disgusting on paper. I love it. It's like 17%. No, it's probably 15%. What is it? I should know that. But it's like yeasty and funky and weird.
That's
So that
right.
could be,
That was my
yeah.
experience. It was definitely yeasty and funky and weird.
And leaves you, if you drink too much of it, leaves you feeling like shit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So just a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah. You know what? Let's just make it Argentinian Malbec because I know that's your favorite wine.
That is, don't be basic for me.
Well, I feel like, you know what? If you had gone to the Beyonce concert, that would be Argentinian
There
Malbec.
you go. If I
But
had,
instead, we'll give you something that you hate.
there you go. Manzanilla. So I will try this and I will report back and let you know if I
Oh, you're
am
not gonna like it. It
projected into the
I
past to
love
that
it.
memory.
It needs to be cold, and I would eat it with like olives and like stinky cheese and like a manchego, not stinky, but like intense hard cheeses and green olives, nuts. It's like a sipping on a really hot day with and feeling very grown up because it is weird. And at first you're like, what the fuck is this? But I love it. It is nostalgic for me, but it is also super strong, so it will destroy you.
Okay, so not too
Which is great.
much, just
Yeah.
like
No.
a little bit.
It's moderation.
I'll try it out. That's me, guys.
That was great.
You know my life.
We got to talk about 9/11 too. How exciting is that?
I
We
mean,
got Arab Spring and 9/11 in there. That was it was very political.
I'm so sorry that I pooped on the party. My bad.
No, I love it. I love it. That's great. I just always thought that was so funny. It's like, my friend is escaping from Egypt. Can she stay with you? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's start there. I had to flee. It was fun though. It really wasn't all that bad. As long as you weren't a part of the government, they weren't after you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Right.
safe.
You were fine.
I was
Just got
fine.
to get out of there in case things get sketchy. What's it? I mean, I don't really know what's happening there at the moment. I do my best to not pay attention to anything for my own mental health,
Me
but it's
too.
probably
I've stopped
not
watching the
great.
news because
That's good.
I can't. The important thing someone is going to tell me. So I trust that.
I think that's good for you because I think you've had your brain and heart and soul in it for so long, and that is it's
Your mental health,
not good for you. Yeah.
your physical health, your mental health. Take care of your health, guys.
Yeah. Self-care, it's radical.
When you're a grown up, you're allowed to go out of the house, so you don't have to sneak out. So go out of the house and do whatever you want with boys, with
Go for a
girls,
walk.
walk by yourself.
I will go for a walk with my dog. And now, a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour. That was so great. So, where can we find you on the internet if we want to follow I think that your Instagram is really, really awesome and that you have a lot of really important perspective on current events, on civil rights, on American politics, on the world. And I think it's really, I would love to see everybody who's listening follow you on Instagram for sure. And if there are any other places that we can find you or any other links that you want us to post, tell us. And we'll definitely post Black Violin.
Absolutely. So to follow me on Instagram, I'm kind of boring, but I appreciate your perspective. Feel free to follow me at Convos, Convos with WITH, Corryn, Corryn. That's where you can find me and all of my perspectives on things that matter and things that don't. Please feel free to check out Black Violin. They're really dope. They were recently Grammy nominated, and you can follow them just at Black Violin. And there you can go to their website. You can see if they're coming to a city near you because they're back on tour if you're vaccinated. Don't be going to the show if they're
Mm-hmm.
not if you're not vaccinated, please. And yeah, and then follow my sister if you're into like rap music. She's dope at Who Camille. WHO Camille. Camille.
Awesome. Well, we'll put all those links in the show notes. And I know I'm already following Black Violin, but I'll definitely follow your sister too.
Yeah, she's dope.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for being here.
This was fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour. Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour is produced by Paris Underground Radio. For more information about Happy Hour and shows like it, please go to parisundergroundradio.com. To hang out with me more, head to my Facebook group. It is called Good Wine, Good People, and you can find the link to that in the show notes. Cheers.